Good afternoon, folks. It's TR for Stagecoach Road Sewing Machine. I have a really cool Kenmore to show you today. This one is from the middle 1970s. I'm not real familiar with exact dates on Kenmore machines. It has a lot of really neat features, sews very smoothly, and wait till you hear it run. Sounds neat. Let's start with a couple of external features. Let's see what we've got going here. This is your power switch, and that does control the foot control as well as the lights, and the machine's completely off. Here's reverse. This is your stitch selector and stitch width. This is a two-part knob here, like an old TV channel changer. It sounds like it, huh? Okay. This is stitch length here, and this also works with your stitch selector stitch to select between plain stitches and reverse cycle stretch stitches. So this machine is very capable of sewing your knits with no problem. Back on the red is for, we'll start with it on the red though. Over here is your tension, bobbin winder. You got a patch-o-matic pressure gauge here. This is so easy to release the pressure on the foot or push it down for a more squish on your fabric. We'll put it at about in the middle. Your door opens up, there's your light bulb. Here is a Kenmore feature that's just amazing. Let me take the foot off so you can see it better. This is a standard low shank center needle foot. If you want to buy some attachments for this machine, that's about the most common kind. This machine has a convertible center throat plate piece. It's a little bit. Look at this. Okay, this comes off. And then look at this. This little piece lifts out. You can see here you've got the slots for your two center feed dogs. And then you've got a zigzag hole and a straight stitch hole. Now you want to be careful if you change this over to straight stitch that you don't forget that you did that. But the way you do it is you just turn it around. And now you've got a straight stitch plate. Why would you want that? For sewing very delicate gauzy fabrics. For making a super accurate straight stitch when you're top stitching, things like that, you would want to pair it up with, like I said, a straight stitch foot as well. So you don't look at your zigzag foot and go, oh, fine. So let's take that out and turn it back around. Like I said, I've only ever seen something like that on this series of Kenmore machines, and it's truly a fun feature. Okay, we've got the class 15 bobbin assembly down there. I love how this thing clicks off so you can just get your hand right in there. I've already wound a bobbin before we started the demo. Again, basic class 15 bobbin here. And it's buy them in any fabric store. And like that. Feed that back under the tension spring. And just click it in on its little spindle there. Click. Pop the thread in. And let's put the cover plate back on, and let's put the foot back on. And I showed you all about that nifty changeable throat plate. Well, while I've got that up, let me also show you the markings here. And you've got not only cornering markings, but diagonals, 45s, that you can see in there. Great feed dog, good feed capability. Move your fabric around. Let's get that foot back on there and thread it up. 2 spool pins. You can be winding a bobbin on one while you're still sewing with the other. But we're not going to do that. We're going to thread through there. Little thread guide. And this one. And through the tension. Pretty big basic stuff there. Raise up your take-up lever through the eye of the chicken. Okay, down here, thread guide, and this machine, like most modern zigzags, threads front to back. There we go. Turn the hand wheel towards you, raise the bottom thread, and we're ready to sew. Let's just start with a basic piece of shirting that I show a lot. Over your feet. Now let's check what we're on here. We are set for a straight stitch, the red S. which matches this red S on your channel changer there. And then all that's left to do is select the stitch length. Let's go for 12. That would be what we would use for this sort of fabric. No matter what machine you're using, always make sure that your thread, your needle, and your fabric are compatible sizes. Don't put a big old railroad spike in there to sew lingerie. And don't put a very fine little needle in there to mend hubby's jeans. But here we usually do our demonstrations with a 14, which is right about in the middle. Listen to that motor. Reverse. Stop and turn back here. Makes a beautiful stitch. Perfectly balanced. Listen to this again. Got a full range of speeds there. Stitch stays consistent. Look at that. Let's try some zigzagging. Okay, let's get up there. Turn it around. Now, we do zigzag stitch. We go down to here to our width. Get the red S for straight. And then we've got 1 through 4 for zigzag. 4 being the widest. Let's just do that. Alright. There's a basic zigzag for all the wonderful things you can do with zigzag. I use it a lot. Let's make it really small. Clear down to the red zone here. And we get a nice applique stitch going. We can make it narrower. See, that's down here, narrower. Let's see what did we do here. So, variations of zigzag there. And it looks just exactly the same on the back. Nice balanced stitch. Let's look at some of the other stitches you got available on here. Let's talk about this knob again. Well, you've got stitches pictured down here in red and white. When you've got this knob turned to the red, you'll get whichever red stitch of the pair is selected. When it's on white, you'll get the white stitch. So the white stitch here is what we call a honeycomb stitch. And for all of these stretch stitches, you want to have your zigzag as wide as it goes and your stitch length as long as it goes. Now you can adjust that business. There we go. The length of it. See how the machine's going forward and back? That's a reverse cycle stretch stitch. This is a good one because you can sew elastic directly onto something and the stitch will have a lot of give to it. Let's see. So that's pretty fun to, oh, and just right here, even if you just take out off that, you've got the straight and zigzag like we first showed you. But if you take that over to the white zone here, now you've got a reverse cycle stretch stitch. Just go straight. This is the stitch that you would sew spandex or t-shirt fabric with. Forward and back, forward and back. See, I'm sewing on the bias of this fabric here. Now, you know that the bias is the stretchy direction, and normally if I yanked a seam that was on the bias, it would snap. Not so when you've used the reverse cycle stretch stitch. Very cool thing. So we don't have a manual with this machine. It's not real hard to figure out. Really, it's not. I just did. Oh, one more thing to show you. Dropping the feed, releasing the pressure. Now look what you can do. Let's put it back on regular zigzag. Oops, zigzag. Zigzag means go wide. There we go. And now I'm moving the fabric. Now I can do applique, or I can mend my jeans, a warm spot. Okay. Go back to regular sewing. Put the pressure back on. Raise the feed dog. And there you go. So I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration of this wonderful 1970s Kenmore. I'd really like to see you have this sewing machine because it is sturdy, it sounds good, it looks good. I just like it. contact us. We'll tell you how you can have it.